welcome back to the Justice Lincoln Show. We're on to the Aftershow now, right?
We are, yep, diving into the deep blue.
So, kind of went a little crazy on the main show, didn't we?
Just a little.
I think that was mostly me. That was me.
That was a lot, you.
So, mermaids.
Mermaids.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you're cutting them short.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, yeah.
I'm still in awe over that one.
Yeah, I didn't see where I was going to go, did you?
I did not know you were going to go down that hole. No.
Space travel and mermaids. How about that?
Yeah.
No one saw that coming, did they?
No one.
Mikey, did you see that one coming?
I did not know.
Yep, space travel and mermaids. That's why there's some UFOs that are landing in the water. That's the mermaid versions. The ones on land or they swing by a land just to drop off the Bigfoot. And then Bigfoot's they're like, all right, make some noises out there, scare them a little bit.
Wow.
No. All right. After show, we're gonna cover something a little bigger.
A little darker, yeah.
A little bigger.
Yeah.
A lot bigger.
A lot bigger. The Kraken.
Release the Kraken. So, Kraken.
Yeah.
What is a Kraken?
Do
Do you know what the Kraken is?
A giant octopus.
Or squid.
Okay.
So,
Or get technical.
yeah, to get technical, it's just, we don't know.
Yeah.
Now, just for reference, because the Kraken is the one that, attacks ships, right?
Right.
So, now we have, we found some, aggressive bears and some aggressive, that we've kind of given them nicknames, right? There's, Pooh Bear in Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
He kind of goes on. So we've known that some animals have kind of oh yeah, that's Lula. She's the aggressive one.
Yeah.
So we could see that I think even in your Shinnetig Island.
Okay.
Oh, for your horses?
Yeah.
Don't they have a pecking order?
Well, yeah, there's the stallion or whatever. He managed the herd.
Right. But now there's the horse drama that goes out there.
Oh, yeah.
They have their personalities, right?
Right.
So maybe the Kraken was just what we named one of the giant squids or octopus that were attacking ships.
That is a good possibility,
yeah. Yep, that's the Kraken. Now, the ship. Now I'm going to go to the Santa Maria.
Okay.
We know that ship, right? Mikey, you remember that ship?
Yes.
Liz, do you remember that ship? Because I'm sure you do. Because that was a part of the Mandela effect.
Okay, yeah.
So the Santa Maria, the ship was 97 feet long.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So 97 feet long, and it was the keel length was about 53 feet, and the beam was about 26 feet.
Oh, okay.
So you're talking about a 100-foot boat,
right?
And that was a pretty big boat.
That would be a pretty big boat, yeah.
So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're talking about as far as size when we're talking to the Kraken.
Okay.
So the Kraken is supposed to be able to tear down boats, right?
Right.
So with that, you have the giant squid.
Okay.
How big do you think the giant squid is?
I'd say at least 100 feet.
Nope.
No?
Nope. 40 to 50 feet in length.
Okay.
Which is about half the boat.
Right.
So, I mean, can you imagine something the size of 40 or 50 feet? And that's a giant squid. That's what we know.
Okay.
Now, what if, because we know humans. Okay, humans as a good example. Humans have an average height, right?
Right.
Now, there are some extremes on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay. So the difference as far as a scale goes is there's been a human that's been over 8 foot tall. Several.
Right. Okay.
What if the Kraken was just a giant squid that just kind of was bigger than the others.
He had a little steroids in him.
Little steroids, or
Yeah.
he may have been, just that anomaly that he was just a little bit bigger than the rest. I mean,
Could be.
not all animals are the same. You look at orcas, any creature, blue whales, they're not all exactly the same size. You can't just say, "Yep, all blue whales are, so many feet long."
Right.
They have size variance.
Yeah.
What if it was just a big, giant octopus that liked to just go destroy ships? We're seeing that with orcas right now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's always a possibility.
So we'll go into the kraken. Do you believe the kraken exists? Or a kraken-like creature, let me put it that way.
I guess they could, yeah.
Okay. Mikey?
I feel like they could as well.
Okay. I'm almost 100% sure that a kraken exists. I think it's a giant octopus.
Okay.
I think it was a abnormally large giant octopus.
Okay.
They did find remains of a giant octopus that when they put the tentacles and the suction cups.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're about the size of a dinner plate.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah. Now that's huge, right?
Yeah.
So we know that both squids and both octopi are really, really smart.
Okay.
Like incredibly smart. There are stories of it understanding a security guard's route and would be able to sneak out of their cage and then go let themselves into another fish aquarium, eat, and then get back in their cage before that security guard made his next round.
Really?
Oh yeah, they have it on camera. They have proven it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They are incredibly smart. This is our aquarium. We can't have an octopus.
Okay.
We can't because he'll get out.
Oh.
You have to. There's a special. If you're going to have an octopus, you have to have a special cage for them that they can't get out of, and you have to have a lock. And if anything has a little gap, they can squeeze their whole body through there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They are an incredibly cool species.
Yeah.
Terrifying when it's huge.
I bet.
So, even the giant, I think it's a giant octopus.
Okay.
So here's kind of what we have with I believe they're called a giant Pacific octopus.
Okay.
Okay. They say in the wild their lifespan is 3 to 5 years.
Oh.
Intelligence, smart and solitary. They are 25 miles per hour fast.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And their mass is anywhere from 22 to 160 pounds.
It's not very big.
Well, you're 160 pounds. That's bigger than our girls.
Oh, well, yeah.
In an octopus.
Okay.
Now, just imagine how terrifying that would be. Now, the largest octopus ever found weighed in at 600 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And it had a 30-foot around arm span. So
wow.
30 feet.
That would be pretty cool to see, like up close and.
That'd be scary to see up close. I mean, they're incredibly strong too.
Yeah.
I mean, they get those tentacles wrapped around you, and they're on you.
Yeah.
So, I just think that could be kind of a scary thing.
I bet it would be. Yeah, it would be cool to see though too.
So, just to give you an idea of boats.
Okay.
All right. So, in the 1400s. Boats were generally 49 to 82 feet long. Okay. That's kind of the general idea of what they are. So, and there were some smaller ones that weren't really seafaring. Some of them were, so they did go a lot smaller.
Like your average size. Yeah.
But we're talking what they consider a ship.
Okay.
A ship was 49 to 82 feet. So to kind of put it in perspective here, if the ship is 50 foot, right, and then there's this octopus or giant squid that's the same size as your boat.
That's scary.
That is a little more scarier, yeah.
So we know it exists.
Okay.
You know, just how many times have you seen, like, and I know you've seen it, there's been those videos of someone like kayaking next to a whale
or a dolphin, yeah,
or a dolphin, and just look in the size difference.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
huge, right?
They're huge. I mean, even if you're on a boat and like one swims under you and you see it come back up, they're huge.
Oh yeah.
So.
Now we were back to Shinnetig. We ran into some dolphins there too.
We did, yeah.
Now they were kind of small dolphins.
Okay.
They weren't that big, remember? Or how big were they?
I think they were like average size, weren't they?
I don't know. What's the average size of a dolphin?
Well, I mean, we didn't really see them come all the way out of the water.
Yeah,
so.
they just kind of like, crested every once in a while. We got some pictures of them.
Right.
But they were right there.
Yeah.
I mean, now here's the scary part on that. I saw them just out of the corner of my eye. No one else saw them. I mean, the captain was just going to move on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, wait, I saw something. He goes, oh, well, yep. We damn near missed it.
We did, yeah.
I mean, if someone didn't just happen to look out, you miss it. I mean, I hate to say it, but when you're in the water, especially at night, I mean, come on.
It's pretty easy to miss, so yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So now you got to understand that, they eat. They could eat all kinds of stuff, right? They're scavengers. They kind of eat, fish, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Snails, whatever. When you're that big, you can eat whatever you want, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's be honest. What if there's the kraken, he's out, he's hungry, he wants to know what a human tastes like.
He's like, food.
I'm as big as that boat that they're sailing on.
Yeah.
I could just like creep up, reach in, grab one of those little sailors and yank him out.
Or like 4 or 5 of them.
Right. Well, you're 50 feet long.
Yeah.
And your tentacles are going to be huge. And you can't, I mean, have you ever seen someone try to like hold an octopus and then like try to get him off? Well, it's a pain in the ass. Like, watch a YouTube video of with octopus. When they grab hold of something, it is a pain in the rear to get them to let go of it.
Okay.
And that's just like some of the smaller ones we're seeing here. We're like the size of a ship.
Yeah.
We now know they exist.
Okay.
So I want to say there's no doubt in my mind that the kraken did exist. That's probably, Moby Dick.
Yeah.
That's, that's what it was. Okay. Someone named him the kraken, and that maybe him and, his brothers and his siblings and other people terrorized it, because you don't know.
You don't?
All squids look alike to us.
Yeah.
I mean,
they don't have name tags.
They don't have name tags. I mean, if you went out and you saw orcas, and you're like, oh, that's an orca.
Yeah.
And then like 2 years later you saw an orca. To you it looks like the same orca.
Right.
Now, you could like, oh, no, that one has different patterns here, or, different that here. This is how their dolphin fins go, and, whatever little characteristics. But for, like, a person that doesn't know,
yeah,
that's the same dolphin. I mean, Shamu.
That's true.
Like, oh, this is Shamu.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually Steve, his cousin. Shamu, we moved somewhere else. But we're going to call this one Shamu, too.
Okay.
Well, am I right?
Well, yeah.
Do you know the difference?
No.
If you go to SeaWorld and go, they go, welcome to the stage, Shamu, and you're like, bullshit, that's Steve. No one knows. No. It doesn't happen that way. Like, oh, Shamu's sick. Okay, put him in back. We'll bring Shamu 2.0 out. They're like, look, it's Shamu, and everybody's like, yay, because we're stupid.
Yeah.
We don't know. They're going to tell us it's Shamu. We're going to call Shamu.
That's true. Yeah, never know. We need to find out if that happens at SeaWorld.
That totally happens at SeaWorld. What do you mean that doesn't? It has to happen.
Well, yeah, I guess.
the dolphins that they have, the dolphin show in there. There's like all kinds of shows that they have that, I'm sure they have like, let's get this person to try and,
back up.
Yeah.
Or switch them out every show.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay. I guess that could happen.
They learn and they do really, really well. Mm-hmm. And then if they don't do very well, then they're still a star of the show at the cafeteria down the street.
Yeah.
I mean,
my God.
Well, they serve fish at SeaWorld.
Oh.
Mikey, they serve fish at SeaWorld.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're eating the slow learners. The ones that don't learn, you eat.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
That dolphin didn't want to, perform right, and then dolphin steaks on the menu.
3 strikes and we turn you into steak.
Yep. That's it. You're done. Jump through the hoop or you're on the grill, buddy.
I mean, I would try a dolphin. Am I crazy for that?
No, dolphins. Shark, blacktip shark is one of my favorite steaks. We like fish. There's cod, there's salmon.
Salmon.
Yeah,
and snapper.
salmon and snapper. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of fish that we eat.
Grouper.
Mm. That's Ariel's little friend. We ate him. So, yeah. I mean, but maybe that Kraken got tired and said, this seafood diet's not for me.
I want some meat.
I need some that corn-fed human up there on that ship. Yank.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you know what? He may not even want to eat us. He's like, this doesn't taste good.
He just wants to play with us, throw around.
Look what, yeah. I mean, play with your food, yeah.
Yeah, throw from one arm to the other and then back and forth.
Oops, I squeezed too hard. It's dead.
Yeah.
Turn colors on me here. It's like doesn't move anymore. I will say that's entirely possible. Sharks take a bite out of people every time they get a chance to, right?
Yeah.
There might be, who knows?
Who knows?
Can you imagine all those people lost at sea?
Yeah.
And it's like, they got eaten by the Kraken. Or worse, the Kraken is working with the mermaids.
Oh my gosh.
He comes up and they're abducting humans off ships. Like, I don't know, she fell overboard. No, that was a Kraken. Grab her down.
Could they turn them into like mermaids?
I don't. How is he going to do that?
I don't know.
Like rip off their bottom part and put on a fish part?
I don't know.
And say, look, it works.
No, the mermaids bite them and they
turn into mermaids.
So mermaids are like vampires now?
Yes.
I don't know. You guys are dark. You guys have issues. I was just going to say they kidnap them and like bring them down into like little like oxygen cages down under their coral reef and like interrogate humans and stuff like that, and then they like throw them up on a ship raft and like they're like all floating out to sea and they're like they get caught. They're like, the mermaids caught me, and like they're like, yeah, you're delusional. You've been in the sun too long. That happens enough time. They're like, don't say anything about the mermaids because they won't believe you anyway. So we have
I thought they were just like vampires. They bite them and then you turn into a mermaid.
I don't know.
We have dragons with on-off switches and now vampire mermaids. What's next?
I don't know. I was going to say mermaid vampires, but how the hell do we get to mermaid vampires? This is that what you want? Is mermaid vampires? If you get bit by a mermaid, you're like, I'm a mermaid now.
Yeah.
Like at the full moon, do you have to go down underwater after a while, or how does that work? You must be caught by us. So the Kraken is like grabbing all these people, and they're like, I got 8 of them, ready to turn them. We need more.
Maybe. You never know. They gotta like
That's why they're called mermaids. There's not a lot of mermen. They kidnap men to mate with.
Oh, okay.
Like the Amazons.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So are the Krakens helping the mermaids? Is that what we're going?
Probably.
Probably.
I mean, if Bigfoot can help them, so can the Kraken.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe there's so Bigfoot's catching people on the shore, throwing them in the water. The Kraken is grabbing them and dragging them under.
Sure.
Okay.
Maybe the dragons are dragging people off the mountains and flying them to waters and stuff.
Wait, so that means there could be water dragons too.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah. There's some big fish down there, I tell you what.
There are.
And I don't know. I don't think you can see an octopus coming. They're very kind of hard to see sometimes. They're camouflage. They could blend right in. Be hanging off the side of the ship going, Captain looks over and there she blows. Not no more. Yank.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the one just liked how humans tasted. He's like, shrimp just don't cut it for me anymore.
He said nom nom nom.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I like the way that tastes. Some bears have developed a taste for human blood, and they say once a dog gets that, you have to put that dog down.
Yeah.
So maybe that got a taste of some, maybe a giant octopus or a giant squid got a taste of some human, liked it, and said, yep, that's what I'm going to eat from now on.
And they said, give me more.
It's not a... What?
They
Give
said,
me more?
Yeah, they want more food, more human food.
Yeah, they just go up there and snack.
Yeah.
Late night snack.
They're like, give me more, give me more.
Oh, jeez. You have issues too.
I know.
Listen, if my mermaid, my alien traveling mermaids are off, then I have to say your vampiric mermaids are way off too.
Those are Mikey's vampiric.
You are going to go there too.
Don't lie. You said you were going to go there too, so don't give it.
Yeah, I know.
You just did. He beat you to the punch. I believe those are called sirens. They're like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
No, they might be they're like, yeah. Every once in a while we catch a human. Let's. I mean, that makes more sense of a shipwreck, and they're like, oh look,
Humans.
food. Let's have I'm sure they had to taste us, right?
Probably, yeah.
I would have tasted them. I mean,
Yeah. Why not?
yeah. A little fishy, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Mikey, do you have anything to input here?
No, I already put my 2 cents in with the vampiric with the vampiric mermaids.
So, so Loch Ness Monster is another one that, we don't know what it is either, right?
I don't think so, no. I think that one's always eluded a lot of people.
So, here's the thing. There's octopi.
That's the plural
that's
form
the
of
plural
octopus.
for octopus.
Okay.
So, include octopi means all of them.
Okay.
Just like how it's cacti for multiple.
Yeah.
Okay.
So octopi will camouflage. They can make themselves look like other stuff. Some of them will make them look like a fish. So they could turn themselves into a fish, and it'll swim around like it's a fish. So when you look over, you're like, oh yeah, there's a fish. It's really an octopus disguising himself as a fish.
Okay.
It's actually happened. They blend in. They're very, very good at blending in like that. So
interesting. Okay. I just thought they kind of all when they swam, they have their head and then their tentacles just follow.
Oh no. They can swim that way, yes.
So we have undercover octopuses?
Yeah.
Octopi?
They disguise themselves in all kinds of stuff. They've made octopus are crazy like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they mimic other animals to draw on the food.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of what they do. So can you imagine what if what if one of the octopus went up there and he's like, yeah, and he's in, he's out there and he's like, maybe that was a Loch Ness monster.
Could be.
The way it moves, it very well could have been that we just saw a tentacle that came up. So that whole head that we see up might have just been like a tentacle that he had. Maybe he was like reaching up just to seeing how it felt underwater and, filling the air. That could happen.
I guess so, yeah. Okay.
Maybe it was testing it out and seeing what it was. And then that's why, it looks like a long something there, right?
Yeah.
And that would also explain why they haven't found it. So it could really hide. Even the big ones, they can fit through some very small openings.
I've heard that about him, yeah.
So it's kind of crazy some of the stuff they could fit in. What if he's in a cave down there and they're like, oh, nothing that big could fit in that? Well, yeah, an octopus, a giant, maybe he's a big octopus and he's down there or a big squid that got stuck there somehow. And then he's been living in there eating off the bottom and, eating all kinds of stuff. Chances are he's probably dead now because if he got landlocked or he couldn't get in there. Or maybe there's a secret tunneling system underneath there that's so small that we are like, yeah, it's too small or you can't do that. But, we can't get anything in there. But something like an octopus could get in and out of those. Eels do it all the time.
Yeah.
So,
okay. It's a good way to look at it.
I would say I don't believe that the Loch Ness monster exists, but if it did, I could explain it in the way of a giant squid or octopus.
Okay.
And that would be kind of, if you saw one and you just kind of saw a tentacle go down or a tentacle come up and it, in the dark, it may have looked like a head because you just saw the edge of it.
Right.
And you're thinking, you're not thinking it's an arm. That's for, it's not an arm that big, right?
Yeah.
So I could see that.
Okay.
So Loch Ness, I would have to say, would have to be another creature that can maneuver. And, octopus can kind of blow themselves up and make them look big.
Yeah.
They could kind of shrink down to make them look small. I don't know. I think that might be a possibility, but I definitely will say kraken does, or the kraken, which is a giant octopus or a giant squid. I think there's enough evidence that a creature like that does exist and could have always existed.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with you on that one. Yeah.
They found a whale that had some like really, really big slashes and cut marks, and they're like, oh yeah, that whale got into it with a giant squid.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I think they can dive as deep as a giant squid.
Yeah. So, and we don't know if there's like a bigger squid that's further down underwater. Well, see, because everybody thinks that when something dies in the ocean, it floats for a minute, it bloats up, floats, and then sinks.
Yeah.
That's how most things happen. So when sharks die and all these creatures die, they don't float to the surface. They shrink. They sink to the bottom of the ocean.
Okay.
So if you think about it, there's all this carcass and dead animals basically all on the sea floor that scavengers are going to eat.
That is true, yeah.
So there's nothing that says that something is that low that it's maybe, right before that shark's dying, it's starting to go down, it's starting to die, that, it'll pick what it wants off of it, eat what it wants off that whale or whatever is going to go down, and the rest of the carcass goes down, and all the other scavengers scraps, get all those and get it taken care of.
That's a good way to look at it, yeah.
So now, I don't know, I would think if it's something on the bottom of the ocean, maybe a mermaid is a scavenger, and maybe they're bottom feeders. We don't know.
We don't know.
But that would make a lot more sense that they're kind of a bottom feeder and they're going through that kind of stuff. And then if they die, that's the thing. If they die, they're not floating to the surface.
They're fine.
They're sinking.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're going to die and all of a sudden, oh, yep, I see a mermaid. They're a
They
whole
float to
colony
the
died. They didn't
surface.
float.
Yeah.
They're not from it. You know, it's just kind of crazy. So they're going to sink to the bottom.
Yeah.
So that's why we haven't seen them.
Okay. Yeah.
And the krakens are the same thing. I mean, we stumble across every once in a while. We stumble across something like that, but you know, we now know evidence that the big ones exist. I mean, even with the giant squids that I was talking about are, how long did I say? 40, 50 feet?
40 to 50 feet, yeah.
Can you imagine a 50-foot
That would be crazy.
squid that can
Yeah.
grab hold of you?
That's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Now, some of those manta rays have been huge, too. I mean, some of those, they, I don't know what version there are. There's ones that are, like, so big that, like, humans, I think there was humans that were on one of them, and it was like 5 of them were across this guy, and they weren't even touching each other.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was a huge, you know, so we know there's some big, majestic creatures down there.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that it's really hard to see them.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
And if they're skittish, they're going to run.
Yeah.
Anybody that has gone down lobster hunting will tell you the same thing. You generally hunt them in the cage, but if you go out there, and I've done it, I've gone out, you know, where you see a lobster, you go down there, you have to like pin it to the ground and grab hold of it so it didn't run away.
Oh, really?
And they are quick. It's really hard to do it. I think I damn near had it, but it kicked that tail and it hit me in the chest and it hurt like hell.
Oh, wow.
I mean, those things, he was a big boy for a reason. You know, it was probably the biggest lobster I've ever seen. If I thought I caught him, I would be like, yeah, he could feed a family of 12.
Oh, wow.
He
That's
was
big.
that big. And I'm
Dang.
like, and I'm thinking, because I saw him, I'm like, oh, there's a big boy. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking big and slow. Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
He hit me in the chest and it hurt, and he was gone. And I'm like, yeah, there's a reason he got that big, because he knew how to get the hell away from us.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm definitely saying krakens exist, or a kraken-like creature.
Okay.
I would go as far as to say Loch Ness Monster was a misidentified giant octopi or squid, something like that.
Okay.
Or it very well could have been a large eel-like creature.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
You know, if it kind of like, you know, came up and just kind of stuck his head out of the water and went back down, and, you know, people misidentified it. And they were thinking, oh, it's this huge creature. Well, yeah, some of those, you know, water snakes or eels are actually pretty good size.
I guess they could be. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they are. So.
And they could go through probably a smart little tunnel.
Yeah.
And from the surface, they may look, you know, have you ever looked in things in underwater?
No, not really.
Mikey, have you?
I have not.
It's a cool thing to do, because when you look at something that's like submerged underwater, it sometimes can look a lot bigger than it really is.
Yeah.
It also doesn't look when you look at it, sometimes they're not where they look like they're supposed to be. That reflection causes a lot of distortion.
Okay.
And it very well could be that the reason it looks so big is the angle that they were looking at it. They were catching the real, and then they were catching kind of a reflection of it that basically doubled its size.
Oh, okay.
Water is kind of one of those weird things that, like, if you look through, water can be used as a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
So if you look through a bottle of water, it can be used as a magnifying glass. You can start a fire with a bottle of water, because it'll reflect the sun, and you kind of heat something up. So it kind of manipulates vision.
Okay.
I think that's what that could be. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So Kraken, I have to say, I'm a firm believer Kraken exists.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are giant sea creatures under there, so yeah.
All right, Mikey.
I agree. The kraken does exist.
All right. I think
right.
that
Well,
I
we're
think
all
the
in
kraken.
agreement.
I think the kraken is just what they said. Is they said, "Oh, that's a kraken,"
Okay.
because that was the one that was attacking all the ships.
Yeah. Okay.
So I could see that, and that'd be terrifying.
It would be terrifying.
Something as big as your ship attacking you. Holy
Yeah.
crap! Even at a 100-foot ship, that's still half the size of your ship.
Yeah. And, you can't see the whole thing, so you're like, what else is, like,
Yeah. Can you imagine like a tentacle coming across the bow?
Yeah.
You're like, holy crap! And I mean, because you got to think that's how long they were. They weren't that wide.
Right.
So it's quite possible that tentacle could have gone over one side of the bow and over the other side and just had this like big, huge arm across your ship.
Yeah. That would be scary.
And looking at the size of the arm, you're going,
Yeah.
what creature is that?
Yeah. Like, we're going to die.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, so I could see it.
Yeah.
I could totally see it. You know what? I'm not a very big, I don't know about the Bermuda Triangle, but there's a lot of ships that go missing.
There are, yeah.
And if there's something down there that's 50 foot long, well, some of the smaller yachts, like we watch, what's that show we watch?
Below deck.
Okay, Below Deck. Now, what's the size of that ship?
They're usually like 80 meters.
Are they 80 meters? I thought they were like 80 feet.
I think they measure them in meters.
Is it meters?
I think.
Okay. It very well could be. But some of those ships, now those are pretty good size.
Yeah.
I mean, those are a large yacht.
Right.
But you're talking some of these smaller yachts or sailing ships that are only like, I want to say I had a Bayliner, a little boat that was 18 feet long.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Now that was just a little day cruiser. I think some of the bigger yachts you can get are, they could go up to 100 so feet or so.
Yeah.
But some of those are like, 24, 36 feet long.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah, your ship's 36 feet long. You're like, yeah, I got me a pretty good ship. And then something 50 feet long, that's longer than your boat.
It is.
Comes up there and says, yoink.
You're going down.
That could be a lot of missing ships and a lot of missing people.
It could be, yeah.
Now, there have been stories of like ships going out to sea, coming back with nobody on board.
Ooh, that's creepy.
Those stories do exist. There
Yeah.
are recorded events of ships coming back or someone finding a ship that's completely deserted. No sign of humans anywhere on there. And like, some of them were like, you could tell they were in the middle of fixing food and all of a sudden just vanished.
Yeah. I've seen those stories too, so.
So I hate to say it, but that story is a kraken. That's a giant, that's a 50-foot giant squid or octopus coming up and yanking some people down.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, they go up there. We know they could survive outside of water, right?
Right.
They've proven that. So what do we know that they didn't sneak up there, grab someone? What are they going to do?
There's not much a person can do.
Right. And then so they're gonna scoop them up and then yank them into the water.
Yep.
They could steal a whole family off a boat. And then, if they were, gentle enough, maybe they didn't even do any damage to the boat. Right? I mean, they could squeeze into like little glass bottles and stuff like that. They can be very delicate too. That's the scary part. I mean, they can manipulate. They could like open a jar underwater. They could open up and get the treat out from.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they've given octopus some very complex, like I guess, tricks and stuff to do, or like containers, like puzzles.
Okay.
Because they keep them, they'll give them a puzzle and say here, and they'll figure it out. So if you put it in there, like I think one was I call it like a Jiffy can, like a can of peanut butter that has a lid on it.
Okay.
They filled it with water. They put a couple fish or whatever they were feeding, and they put it in there. And he was actually able to unscrew the lid, eat the stuff, and put the lid back on.
Oh wow. Okay.
So they're crazy smart. So what's to say they can't just come up, grab a couple people, say, "Yep, I'm hungry. I'm looking for some human. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Some grass-fed humans. I'm gonna grab those and take them down."
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a possibility.
People are gone, and now someone sees a ship all by itself, and you're like, we don't know what happened. Well, you're not looking for what evidence would that be?
Probably none.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no evidence. So I want to say there's still those stories that happen.
Yeah.
So I want to say that the kraken probably is still eating people.
Okay.
There's too many stories of these ships that are just, intact with no one around.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
There's
Scary.
also a lot of ships that just, I don't know, it was nice weather and then the ship went down. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Well, they have a 50-foot,
He said, "I want a toy."
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he tries to climb up on the side and he tips it too far,
Yeah.
and water starts getting in there, it's gonna, once that top fills up with water, it's gonna sink.
Right.
So
It's a water toy.
Yep. And then he has a little toy ship for his bathtub downstairs.
Yep.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I don't know. I say definitely exists. I think they're just too damn smart for us.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Mermaids.
A little more skeptical on those.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that there's some kind of huge, mermaid versus kraken battle, and they're,
Yeah.
and people are like these, maybe the mermaids are saving these people, and they're in a underground cage, somewhere in a mermaid city somewhere, and they're like, well, they're like, well, we can't let you go. We exist now.
Yeah, that's true.
So sorry, we can't let the other people up there know.
Okay.
I mean, would you?
Probably not. No.
They're POWs
Yeah.
at this point. And we don't even know that war is being fought.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
All right. So Krakens, definitely a go.
Yeah.
Mermaids, I think we're still on the fence with.
Okay.
They we do know now is their surveillance mode on land.
Okay.
So, and then they are coming from the moon and from Jupiter.
Okay.
So that's tie everybody in together.
Yeah.
I think you did.
All right. And then, dragons could exist, but now they're aquatic dragons.
Okay.
So maybe they're
that's
underwater.
your Loch Ness monster.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, we didn't even think of that.
You didn't. Good point, Mikey.
Maybe it was like some type of water dragon.
Yeah, just like some type of water dragon that's just like,
Yeah.
and he just looks like the Loch Ness monster.
Okay. Then where'd he go?
Maybe he went down to help the mermaids. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the Loch Ness is in cahoots with the mermaids now too.
Yep.
Maybe he accidentally got seen and he's like, nope, I'm done. And he just went back down into the deep blue.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I was a Loch Ness monster and I could get away and I had something. Every once in a while, I would show back up there and just to screw with.
Yeah. Just to screw with people. I know. Yep. That would be pretty funny.
Wouldn't you mess with people if you were a Loch Ness monster?
Yeah, I would.
What is with you becoming these animals and stuff and just messing with people?
Why would you not mess with people? I don't care what. I would mess with people. I mean, you gotta admit that every once in a while you get that fly in your house that just like will not leave you the hell alone.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
That is true.
Right? So they mess with us too.
Fair.
So, I mean, I could see it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would totally. I'm sorry, I'd just screw with people. I'd be like, yeah, I'm the Loch Ness Monster. Watch this. You know? And I like it, especially if you could live that long. Can you imagine living like thousands of years or something like that?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool to actually do.
Every 100 years, come on up and just like, look, here's what I put up my tentacle. Oh, the Loch Ness Monster. Okay, see you guys in 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
Just disappear for like, 50 or 60 years. Everybody thinks you're crazy. They're like, yeah, we searched, we don't see anything. You're off hiding, and then you're like, you come back. We used to play World of Warcraft. That's what we used to do. So me and a buddy of mine, Barry, and a buddy of mine, Chris, we would play World of Warcraft. I would be bored. I'd go start, stirring up hornets' nests by the opposite faction. I'd go start killing the opposite faction just to meddle and screw around with them.
Right.
My buddy would get on Chris, and then we both harass and, torment the other faction until they got so mad that they started coming after us. But by that time we were bored, so we would go somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
And then my buddy Barry would log in, and he was trying to level up in that area. And he's like, "What the hell happened? Why are these? Why do I keep getting killed? These guys they're like all mad at us for some reason." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that was me."
Yeah.
But I mean, I moved on. So and then. Then I get bored, I go back. So that's Loch Ness Monster right there.
There you go. That's the secret.
That is. So, I mean, if you think about it, it's if you were a giant kraken monster and you're going through and you're like, see this yacht, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to wait till night. I'm not going to attack them during the day. That blonde up there with the big hooters, it looks like she's baking herself. I'm going to let her cook in the oven there another 20 minutes, and I think that's going to be my appetizer.
Oh, okay.
Like, she's almost a golden brown.
Yeah.
Oh, look, she's putting on a seasoning for me. Look at that. Is that sunscreen? Yeah, I love that seasoning. Yeah. And the Kraken pulls it down and says, look, this one has SPF 40. It's like,
wow.
Yeah. Well, this one's a little darker than the other ones. Yeah, this one I let cook. I cooked in the sun a little longer. This one's a little redder than that one. I mean, you don't know.
You don't. Who knows?
We're stuck. They're like, oh, look at this one. We just had a blonde last night for dinner. Okay, I'll put them in the fridge or the freezer. So they have like a bunch of. I mean, they're like, what do you feel tonight? Well, we have this stringy brunette. I got a redhead. Oh, we haven't had a redhead in a long time. We don't know.
We don't.
The Krakens are down there, and I don't know. Maybe they're sharing dinner with mermaids. They're like, yeah, cut up a. And now I'm not. You know what? Now I don't even feel bad that I want to eat them. I'll eat a mermaid. They're eating us. So I'm going to eat them. Tit for tat, right? That's the way this works.
Wow, you have issues. That's all I've got to say.
You have them vampire-ish, so
I know.
I better eat them before they eat us.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right. I think that's a good show for the deep blue.
Diving into the deep blue.
Yep.
Okay.
So now again, you can always listen, follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We're also on X.
Yep, you can listen to us on iHeart, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, the new YouTube Music, Deezer, or Samsung. And
of course, you can always watch our videos and listen to us on YouTube as well. We're also on Rumble, and we do have our videos and little shorts on TikTok as well. So
yep, so we're on all major social media platforms.
All right, so think of next time you're eating that little fish. Pretend, close your eyes and pretend you're eating a little mermaid. Might taste a little better for you.
Alrighty, bye everybody.